Hey guys, Whitney here, and welcome to TEFL Pros. On today's call, I sat down with our recent grad, Kevin. And now on this call, Kevin shares all about his experience on our program and the fact that he has made this transition from working in the auto industry for 30 years, and now he's done a complete 180 into becoming an English teacher. So if you have ever considered changing your career, doing something totally different, possibly working overseas as a part of that, then sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing about Kevin's experience on the TEFL Pros Plus course. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Whitney.
How's it going?
It's going really well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to share with folks a little bit about your experience on the course. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Sure thing.
So, Kevin, the first thing that I always like to ask is just, could you describe for folks where you were at prior to taking your TEFL certification?
Or taking my TEFL.
Yes.
We
have life pre and post TEFL.
Yeah. My life, the last 30 years, I was running an auto accessory business, doing mainly window tinting, stereos, leather interiors, a lot of physical work. I went to college for 2 years, but this hobby just kind of turned into a business. And next thing I know, it's 30 years later and I was making a good living, but physically I didn't want to keep working the long hours and the wear and tear on my body and whatnot. So this past winter, I took a trip to Thailand, which opened up my mind to, I've been to China before a few times, but I went to Thailand and it really opened my mind up to other possibilities. And I started thinking, what can I do where I could work and travel the world, and specifically Thailand, and go back to China. And I've always wanted to go to Japan. And I came across this thing called TEFL, and it really got me curious. So I started researching more and more, and I learned a lot about it, that, there's many Asian countries that you can get TEFL certified and teach English in while you travel. At first, I was a little shocked at the earnings, but in reality, places such as Thailand, the cost of living is much lower. So you got to take that into consideration. I have family that lives in Seattle. My sister makes really good living, but the cost of living is also very expensive. I ask her, how can you afford that? She's like, well, the cost of living is more expensive, but you make more money. So Thailand's kind of the opposite. The cost of living is a lot lower, but so is your income, but it balances out. Like wherever you go, it seems to balance itself out.
Yeah. So you did some traveling, you spent some time in Thailand, got to explore some new parts of the world, and they were like, okay, kind of stumbled upon this idea of getting TEFL certified, right?
I stumbled upon, all these ideas of people say how you can make money as a side job or traveling, and all these ideas, but most of them are scams or selling you a program or this and that. But getting TEFL certified is legit. You actually earn your certification and you can use that at schools or do tutoring online. It just opens up a whole nother world. So I just jumped in.
And I know, Kevin, that you took the research side of it very seriously. You did a lot of research before jumping in and choosing our program. So what was that process like for you?
Yeah, I did a lot. We talked, and then I think we talked a week later, and then about a month later. I took a good solid month and I researched the internet almost daily, or at least every couple of days. I would jump online and I looked at traveling, say, to Thailand to learn to do TEFL to earn my certificate, or to earn it online. I did a lot of research and I kept seeing the same, maybe 3 or 4 TEFL courses pop up, TEFL Pros being one of them. And I just got a really good feeling about TEFL Pros, and eventually I chose to do it online with TEFL Pros. Yeah.
So when you think back to that time, Kevin, you were doing all of that research and, checking in daily. What were the sorts of things that you felt you really wanted out of your TEFL training? Did you have some maybe key items that were, top of your list? that you were looking for?
Definitely, flexibility. When I looked at traveling to do it, these were very intense courses where you're doing it in about 4 weeks, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday kind of thing. They're cramming it all into a very short period of time. Currently working, so I wanted something I could do on my schedule. I was looking for flexibility. I was looking for a program that was accredited, definitely accredited. And like we discussed, I did a lot of research. I was looking for somebody reputable. There's a lot of companies out there for a few $100s, but like anything in life, I believe you get what you pay for. You're not going to get a quality TEFL certification or any education for free or a couple $100s. So I took that into consideration too, the price. So the price, the flexibility, the ability to do it at my own schedule, at my own pace.
All right. And you really dove in. I have to give Kevin lots of credit here that he knocked out his course in like record time. I mean, you did a great job of like, once you made the decision and you hopped in, you were like, I am diving into this. And,
I didn't officially work, but I think it was about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
There may have been a week I didn't get much done, but there was weekends where I knocked out 2 modules in a weekend, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. So, some of the modules like the actual lesson planning were more involved and the homework was more. So they took longer, but if you're dedicated to it and you want to get it done and you have the time, I don't see why not just knock it out, get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got the time and the energy to put into it, then absolutely kind of keep your course of studies, very continuous, like so that you're not having too many breaks to where you got to really strive to get yourself back in that zone.
Yeah, I agree. I think I had one span where I worked like 5 or 6 days in a row. Wow. I was getting a little anxious. I was like, I got to get back to the TEFL course. It's like, in the middle of the lesson planning courses, like I don't like module 4 or 5 or something. I was in the middle and I was like, I want to get through all these lesson plans. So I got my head around it. I could wrap around the whole thing and digest it, get it done.
Absolutely. So are there elements when you look back now, since you're, a graduate, congratulations, when you, when you look back on that experience, Kevin, what are some things that stand out to you?
I was really impressed, and this was I was a little bit anxious, like this is going to be the hardest part, but it's the part I really want to learn. Again, was all the lesson planning. Okay. Like, that's what stood out to me the most. I saw some courses that sounded more like they were literally going to hand you lesson plans as opposed to teach you how to actually plan a lesson. And I've learned by talking to people that, on an interview, they might hand you material and say, hey, plan a class lesson, here's the material. So, I think you really have to know how to do it. I've been doing volunteer teaching online for almost 2 weeks now, mainly to people in Ukraine. And I have found out, I got to plan all the lessons, and I'm not even given a topic. It's whatever the freedom is. And it's cool. I get to teach whatever I want, but then I have to plan that lesson. So it's all coming together. Now I'm actually putting it in action. So that part, again, lesson planning was intimidating, but that's why one of the reasons I chose TEFLPros, because I saw how they really had it laid out, broke it down into, the different types of lessons, and also the classroom, the observation videos I found really cool just to watch other teachers doing it, because they all have a different style. Some are more quiet, some are more, relaxed, where they crack jokes in class or goof around a little bit. Some are more strict. So everybody had a little bit of a different style. So you kind of learn, what's okay, what's not okay, what other people are doing. But it really gives you that classroom environment, like the sense of what's really going to be happening in this field of work.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that was really helpful for you, because you're right. Like, there is no cookie cutter, perfect teacher. Like, we all have our own personalities that we bring into the classroom with us. And so there's different styles. And you just want to focus on can I master these skills, and then bring myself, into the classroom and be the type of teacher that you want to be. And I think, Kevin, you're going to be a teacher with a lot of personality. That is my
I've got
prediction.
personality, and it's good to see that some of the other teachers brought that too. Whether it's just I don't want like such a strict classroom. I want the students to be at ease and relaxed, and sometimes joke around a little bit, with whatever content we're talking about. Yeah, I like to make it fun. Looking back when I was in school, in high school, it wasn't much fun. I didn't like school. I didn't like to study. I skipped school a lot. It wasn't fun. So, I like that kind of environment to make learning fun. That's what I want to bring to my classrooms.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Kevin, but I remember that maybe the second time or so that we spoke to each other, you were like, you can call me K-Dog or K-Dizzle. And I was like, this guy, he's got some personality. He's going to be a fun teacher.
Right. Without being their friend, right?
Yes.
Without being friends with the students, we can still have a teacher-student relationship where, when they come to class every day and we're doing a warm-up, I think the warm-ups are great. Get everybody relaxed, get everybody have a little bit of fun, A lot of the ones I learned through TEFLPros were really good warm-up.
Awesome. And I think it's fantastic that you are already teaching. I mean, guys, he just graduated a week ago. So he just graduated and now he's already like, yeah, I've been teaching for a couple of weeks. I've got my volunteer classes to help me practice.
I didn't even think about that. It's only been 2 weeks. I mean, it's volunteer teaching, but I'm getting that experience, and then I'm going to start looking this week actually for paying positions. But my thoughts now are moving forward, probably doing my own tutoring online. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, eventually traveling, but whether that pans out or not, at least it was a really nice adventure. Good learning. I like to learn regardless of what it is, at what point you are in life, and I've got a TEFL under my belt.
Absolutely.
I can teach online. I could go to China with my wife next year, maybe, and maybe I can teach while we're there. Maybe we end up staying in China for a year. You never know. It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, it does. That's an excellent way to think about it. And another way that I think you really just dove into your TEFL is that you started realizing, okay, if I want to do more freelancing, then maybe I need to build out some other things. So you started, doing your volunteer teaching to get some practice online. And can we share that you also set up your own blog as well?
I did. I actually started that ahead of time, but it's going to all tie together. Yeah.
Yeah. So
a travel blog, but it's going to be my TEFL experience blog as well.
Yeah. I think that's so cool. Yeah. We'll have to leave a link for it below.
What's that?
We'll have to leave a link for it below.
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's so neat.
When it starts blowing up, people are going to be linking back to TEFLPros from the website.
Well, I just think it's so neat when people like share their experiences in different ways. You have a classmate that wrote a book about her time overseas, and when she was on her call, we were like, yeah, I gotta, if you're kind of looking to do what she's doing, like check out her book. And for you, it's like, hey, Kevin's got a really cool story. You should check out his blog and follow along with his journey.
And you had mentioned a few other recent graduates are already working. Yeah, that's great. Like within a week of them graduating too, you're like, oh, they got students already. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. So
that speaks volumes that TEFLPros gives you the right education, that people are going out and doing this days later. It's a little intimidating at first, but you trust that you got the knowledge from the course, and it kicks in. It kicks in. For anybody out there that's a little intimidated or scared about your first lesson or two, it'll go fine. The first one, you're gonna have maybe some palpitations or a little anxiousness, but everything that you learn at Whitney and her program is going to kick in, and you're going to be fine.
Oh, that's
how I felt.
Yeah, it's normal. It's natural to be nervous. I think it shows that you care as a teacher. You care about the outcome. You care that your students actually get something out of your lessons. So being nervous is not, not such a bad thing, especially when we're starting out.
Anything new. Yeah. If you're not nervous about it, something's not right.
So Kevin, at the end of these calls, I always like to ask, if you were talking to someone who's like, Kevin, I don't know, you did it. I don't know if I could do it. I'm just on the fence. I'm nervous about this process of getting TEFL certified. What advice would you give them?
It's probably not really advice. I would say just do it. Just dive in and do it. You can be going swimming somewhere and you're in the high dive, maybe you're 10 feet up and you're looking at that water and you're standing there and you went there to dive, right? You went there to go swimming and jump in the pool, but you're standing there and you're looking down and you're like, I don't know if I want to do it. You have all these thoughts or whatever. Just take that leap. Just jump in, just go for it. Like, I don't know that I could offer specific advice. I would say just do it. Do a little bit of research. Do you want to do it online? Do you want to travel when you do it? Do you need something that's convenient for your schedule? Take some of the things I was looking at before I chose mine. Do your research. Find somebody that's reputable. Get somebody that's accredited. But the bottom line is you just got to do it. You just got to call Whitney up and say, hey, I'm signing up. When can we go?
Okay, Kevin. Hey, it's been great having you on. Thanks so much for doing this today.
I appreciate it. No problem. I really enjoyed your course. Thank you.
Thanks.